Pi Network update, is this 2025's biggest rug pull? 12M token dump exposed. Imagine a cryptocurrency you could mine on your phone, no expensive rigs, no energy-guzzling equipment. A coin that promised financial freedom to the everyday user, and built a massive community of believers. Now imagine watching that coin's price skyrocket to new highs, only to collapse just days later, wiping out millions of dollars in value overnight. 12 million tokens. Dumped. In hours. A price crash of over 50%. And behind it all? An anonymous wallet, allegedly tied to the project's own core team. Welcome to the Pi Network controversy, what some are calling the biggest rug pull of 2025. And by the time you finish this video, you'll understand why respected crypto analyst Atlas says the signs were there all along. Stick around, because the truth behind this crash is wilder than any rumor. The Pi Network started with a bold mission, to put cryptocurrency mining in the hands of everyday users, literally. With just a smartphone and an app, anyone could participate. No complicated setup, no energy-intensive mining farms, just pure digital participation. Millions of users around the world signed up. Pi became more than just a token, it became a movement. A belief that crypto didn't have to be exclusive. For a while, it looked like they were onto something big. Then came May 2025. The crypto world was buzzing as Pi Network's price suddenly shot up to $1.60. At its peak, it even broke into the top 20 cryptocurrencies by market cap. For a project still seen by many as in development, this was huge. People wanted answers. Why the sudden surge? It all seemed to come down to speculation. Rumors started swirling, whispers of a possible Binance listing, and an even bigger announcement scheduled for May 14. Social media lit up with hype, and the Pi community felt like their moment had finally arrived. The price surged on the back of pure excitement, reaching that $1.60 high. But not everything was as it seemed. Just days after that high, something strange happened. A mysterious wallet moved. A lot. Specifically, 12 million Pi tokens were suddenly dumped into the market. And like clockwork, the price began to fall fast. In less than a week, Pi crashed to 74 cents. That's over a 50% drop from its peak. But the real drama began when Atlas, a well-known on-chain analyst and vocal Pi critic, dropped a bombshell on social media. In a detailed post on X, Atlas claimed that this was no ordinary dump. This, he said, was a rug pull and possibly one of the largest the crypto market will see in 2025. He didn't stop at speculation. Atlas pointed directly to the wallet responsible for the dump, GABT7EMP. Using data from blockchain explorer PiCan, he showed that millions of Pi had flowed out of this wallet just as the price was peaking. According to him, it looked like a textbook insider exit during peak liquidity. Even more explosive? Atlas alleged that this wallet was connected to none other than the Pi Network core team. To back up his claims, he referenced findings from another investigator, Dr. Pcoin, who had been probing the token's suspicious movements for months. According to their combined research, this wasn't a one-off event. It was a pattern. And it didn't help that the highly anticipated May 14 announcement turned out to be, well, underwhelming. Instead of a Binance listing or a breakthrough utility feature, the Pi Network announced the creation of a $100 million investment fund. On paper, that sounds impressive, but in the context of the hype, it fell flat. Investors had been led to expect something game-changing. Instead, they got a press release and promises. The market reacted immediately. Pi dropped more than 25% within a day of the announcement. That slide only accelerated as more people began questioning the integrity of the project. Supporters started speaking out. One user criticized the team for building hype around a single announcement, warning that such a strategy could backfire spectacularly if expectations weren't met, and that's exactly what happened. The crash not only hurt holders financially, it damaged trust in the project itself. As the price continued to fall, speculation turned into outrage. That's when Atlas returned to the spotlight, claiming he had identified the exact wallet that dumped the 12 million tokens. He insisted it was not just a random whale or investor, this was, in his words, an insider cashing out while everyone else bought in. He cited evidence from Pican showing massive outflows of Pi from the wallet right as the token hit its local peak. And he wasn't alone in pointing fingers. Many in the community began digging, tracing connections between the wallet and known Pi developer accounts. The Pi network team, however, remained largely silent. No official statement was released addressing the allegations. But one pro-Pi social media account, Times of Pi Network, attempted to do some damage control. They wrote in a post that the Pi core team manages several wallets for a variety of purposes, including ecosystem development, liquidity provision, operational expenses, and community incentives. In other words, yes, tokens move around, but for legitimate reasons. Atlas wasn't convinced. He argued that if the token movements were part of a planned migration from the testnet to the mainnet, or for operational funding, that should have been clearly communicated to the community. Transparency, he claimed, would have prevented the widespread belief that this was an insider dump. Instead, the silence left room for suspicion, and the charts tell a story that looks a lot like a pump and dump. At this point, whether or not Pi Network intended to manipulate the market, the damage has been done. Pi's value is now hovering well below its previous high. Investors are left shaken, and trust in the project is arguably at an all-time low. So what can we take away from this? First, it's a harsh reminder that even popular, community-driven crypto projects are not immune to questionable practices. When teams fail to communicate clearly, and token movements aren't transparent, people will assume the worst, especially when those movements align with a price crash. Second, it underscores the importance of blockchain analysis and accountability. Thanks to blockchain transparency, wallets can be tracked. Movements can be scrutinized. And whistleblowers like Atlas can shine a light on activity that might otherwise go unnoticed. Finally, it's a wake-up call to crypto investors everywhere, don't fall for the hype. If you're investing based on Twitter rumors and unconfirmed announcements, you're playing a dangerous game. Because sometimes, the people hyping the price are the same ones preparing to exit. If you're holding Pi right now, this is the moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, who controls the narrative? Who controls the tokens? And who's really profiting from the project's rise and its fall? If you found this video helpful or eye-opening, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Pi Network pulled off a rug? Or are they just the latest victim of crypto chaos? Subscribe for more deep dives and investigations into the wild world of digital currency. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay informed, and always watch the chain.